locomotives. Just before the firewood winds down, machinery is changed over from steam to electrical power. The work camp is staffed by immigrants from all around Europe. Many of the workers were highly qualified professionals, but their immigration contracts required them to work for 2 years at the organisation which was responsible before they could seek other jobs. So we have Italians, Yugoslavs and others doing physical labour, learning to play cricket. We also have a team of horses helping to marshal the wagons. The camp is movable, but in this case it has a fairly permanent locomotive refuelling depot and workshop. There are some portable buildings sitting on railway tracks ready to be moved to a new site when required. But in 1952, the writings on the wall lines, it will take only 2 years more for the 1952 company workforce of 550 men to be reduced to only 50 of the mining industry changes. The wood lines will be led only the domestic fuel market in Kalgoorlie and Boulder and a limited infrastructure in timber. Finally, the cost of transporting coal and diesel fuel to electrical generators is winning the economic battle. Work camp now has electric light and power replacing the old steam combustion machinery, but its days are numbered. The last Woodlines train ran at the end of 1960.
This is new.
Railway, Kalgoorlie for 3 years, and by 1982 extended throughout What is not underneath the fuel lighting the town shanties. The nearest coal development is 600 kilometres away in Collie, so instead the local timber was cut for firewood at a rate of 350,000 tonnes a year, eventually consuming 3.4 million hectares of forest around the Golden Mile, stretching up to 200 kilometres from Kalgoorlie. The area eventually cut down for firewood was half the size of Tasmania. Wood lines were companies created to supply both firewood and structural timber for the mine workers. Established about 1900, these companies operated their own light bush tramways to collect the cut timber and bring it to their central depots, and where it was transported to the mines, the towns, and the steam power plants. Our model is set in the early 1950s, the last high point of the era. Diesel locos are replacing the edge of the steam locomotive. Just before the need of firewood winds down, machinery is changed over from steam to electrical power. The work camp is staffed by immigrants from all ravaged Europe. Many of the workers are highly qualified professionals, but their immigration contracts required them to work for 2 years in the organisation which was responsible before they could seek other jobs. So we have Italians, Yugoslavs and others doing physical labour and learning to play cricket. We also have a team of horses helping to marshal the wagons. The camp is movable, but in this case it has a fairly permanent locomotive refuelling depot and workshop. There are some portable buildings sitting on railway tracks ready to be moved to a new site when required. But in 1952, the writings on the wall lines, it will take only 10 years more for the 1952 company workforce of 550 men to be reduced to only 50. As the mining industry changes, the wood lines will be led only the domestic fuel market in Kalgoorlie Boulder and a limited infrastructure of timber. Finally, the cost of transporting coal and diesel fuel to electrical generators is winning the economic battle. Work camp now has electric light and power replacing the old steam combustion machinery, but its days are numbered. The last Woodlines train ran at the end of 1964. Eastern Goldfields Railway, which company was operated for 3 years and by 1952 extended throughout the Seaboard Coast Water Pipeline. What is not generally reported on is the need for fuel to drive the pumps of the water pipeline, machinery for the mines, steam engines for the railways, as well as the heating and lighting of the towns and shanties. The nearest coal deposits are 600 kilometres away at Collie, so instead the local timber was cut for firewood at a rate of 350,000 tonnes a year, eventually consuming 3.4 million hectares of forest around the Golden Mile, stretching at 200 kilometres from Kalgoorlie. The area eventually cut down for firewood was half the size of Tasmania. Wood lines were companies created to supply both firewood and structural timber for the mine workers. Established about 1900, these companies operated their own light bush tramways to collect the timber and bring it to their central depots, and where it was transported to the mines, the towns, and the steam power houses. Our model is set in the early 1950s, the last high point of the era, when diesel locomotives are replacing the ancient steam locomotives, just before the need for firewood winds down as machinery is changed over from steam to electrical power. The worker camps start by immigrants in war-ravaged Europe. Many of the workers are highly qualified professional people, but their immigration contracts required them to work for 2 years in the organisation which sponsored them before they could seek other jobs. So we have Italians, Yugoslavs and others doing the physical labour and learning to play cricket. They also had a team of horses helping to marshal the wagons. The camp is moving, but in this case it has a fairly permanent locomotive refueling depot and workshop. There are some buildings sitting on railway trucks ready to be moved to a new site when required. But in 1952, the writing is on the wall for the Wood lines. It would take only 2 years more for the 1952 company workforce of 550 men to be reduced to only 50. The mining industry changes, and the wood line will be left with only the domestic fuel mine in Kalgoorlie Boulder and a limited port structure of timber. Finally, the cost of transporting coal and diesel fuel for electrical generators is winning the economic battle. The work camp now has electric light and power welding, replacing the old steam and electric machinery, but it stays a number. The last Woodlines train ran at the end of 1964. The biggest needs of the mines have been Eastern Goldfields Railway, which Kalgoorlie for years, by 1982, extended throughout the region. Seaboard Coast Pipeline in 1993. What is not generally thought about is the need for fuel to drive the pumps of the water pipeline, machinery for the mines, steam engines for the railways, as well as the heating and lighting of the towns and shanties. The nearest coal deposits were 600 kilometres away at Collie, so instead the local timber was cut for firewood at a rate of 350,000 tonnes a year, eventually consuming 3.4 million hectares of forest around the Golden Mile, stretching up to 200 kilometres from Kalgoorlie. The area eventually cut down for firewood was half the size of Tasmania. The wood lines were companies created to supply both firewood and structural timber for the mine workers. Established about 1900, these companies operated their own light bush tramways to collect the cut timber and bring it to their central depots, where it was transported to the mines, the towns, and the steam power houses. Our model is set in the early 1950s, the last high point of the era. Diesel locomotives are replacing the ancient steam locomotives, and just before the need for firewood winds down as machinery is changed over from steam to electrical power. work camp is staffed by immigrants around Europe. Many of the workers were highly qualified professionals, but their immigration contracts required them to work for 2 years in an organisation which had sponsored them before they could seek other jobs. So we have Italians, Yugoslavs and others doing physical labour and learning to play cricket. We also have a team of horses helping to marshal the wagons. The camp is movable, but in this case it has a fairly permanent locomotive refueling depot and workshop. There are some portable buildings sitting on railway tracks ready to be moved to the site. But in 1952, the writings on the wall would take only 2 years ago, the 1952 company workforce of 550 to reduce it to only 50. Some ideas to be changes, the wood lines would be left only the domestic fuel market in Kalgoorlie Boulder, moving corps structural timber. Finally, the cost of transporting coal and diesel fuel to electrical generators is bringing it down on the back. The work camp now has electric light and power replacing the old steam machinery, but its days are numbered. The last Woodlines train ran at the end of 1960.
No, did I see AE?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. KA. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the L1, you know. Just
no. Well, no. Well, there'll be more.
Haven't reported the emission.
That's hard to do.
What is not generally called is the need for fuel to provide pump for water pipeline, machinery,
What need to do
steam engines for the railway, as well as
manipulate those wagons up the side of
US holder products
out the side.
kilometres away at College.
And the best spot would be in front of that on that curve going that way.
350,000 tonnes a year, eventually consumed.
Because that's the least amount of stuff in the way. But those, I mean, you might be able to get in over the top of those vans. Even if you pull it up.
Two shadows. One red, and then it's got a black.
White would
established about 1900, these companies operated their own light push tramways to collect the cut timber and bring it to their separate depots, where it was transported to the mines, the towns, and the steam power houses. Our model is set in the early 1950s, the last high point of the era, when diesel locomotives replaced the ancient steam locomotives. Just before the need for firewood winds down, as machinery is changed over from steam to electric power. The work camp is staffed by immigrants around Europe. Many of the workers are highly qualified professionals, but their immigration contracts require them to work for 2 years in an organisation which is sponsored before they could seek other jobs. So we have Italians, Yugoslavs and others doing physical labour and learning to play cricket. We also have a team of horses.
we were going to get together last Thursday to put
the camp is movable, but in this case it has a fairly permanent locomotive refueling depot and workshop.
You bring them
There are some portable buildings sitting on railway tracks ready to be moved to a new site. But in 1952, the writings on the wall it would take only 10 years more in the 1952 company workforce of 550 men to reduce it to only 50. The mining industry changes only the domestic fuel market in Kalgoorlie Boulder. Finally, the cost of transporting coal and diesel fuel to electrical generators is winning the economic battle. The work camp now has electric light and power replacing the old steam forge machinery, but its days are numbered. The last Woodlines train ran to the end of